Hello everyone, Brandon here. This is a turtle pond, and today I'm going to be teaching everyone how to build one. This could be for any kind of aquatic turtle, but we're going to be using this one for a red-eared slider, but it could also work for like a yellow belly, painted turtle, maybe mud or musk turtles, and definitely you might want to go a bit bigger, but you could probably put a snapping turtle in one of these as well. So your first step is you're going to have to get a pond. This one here is just a Rubbermaid pond. We got it from Tractor Supply, but you could probably also find one from Home Depot or even on Craigslist. It's 150 gallons, and I believe it's about 3 feet wide, or something like that. So it has and about 4 feet back to front. So it does have very good surface area. This is 3 times the size of Bubbles' previous home, which was a 55-gallon aquarium, and hopefully this will last her for all of her life. As you can see, she's actually crawling around because I threw a couple worms in there, and so she's just trying to see if there's any scraps. You should probably also test if your tote or pond holds water, because the last thing you want is to have your pond all ready to go, then you fill it up with water and it starts leaking. So it may cost, your water bill may go up a little, but you might want to just test out, just test if your pond actually holds water, because if it snaps or something and your turtle's in there, your turtle's not going to have a very good day. Also, if for some reason you maybe don't want your pond in the ground, then you could probably also put it on your deck. You just want to make sure that your deck can hold however many gallons your pond is. If let's say you bought a 150-gallon pond, a gallon of water is about, I believe, 7.5 pounds, and you have 150 gallons, so you want to make sure that your deck can hold it and not collapse. That I have heard of that happening before, but it's not very common. But still, you probably don't want to have to pay for a new deck as well as a new pond for your turtle. So after you've gotten your pond and put it where you want to, there's a couple things you want to go over first. The main thing is sunlight. So as you hopefully know, turtles really need UVB and UVA light, which the sun provides for them, so you don't really have to worry about a basking light. But you want to make sure it's in somewhat direct sunlight. For instance, the sun usually rises over there, so Bubbles gets it every morning, which is very, very good for her. My mom wakes up before I do, and she says that Bubbles likes to bask then, so that's a really nice thing for your turtle to have. If it's on a deck and maybe your house is blocking the sun, that's fine as well. You just want to make sure that your turtle gets a couple good hours of direct sunlight. And it also warms up the pond for them as well. Now for the next step of your pond, filtration. So there's a couple ways you can do this, but the way that I did it is pretty much having a body of water over here that filters it through. This is the easiest way to filter your turtle pond efficiently. So you want to get a pretty good pump going, like probably one that'll turn over the pond around, I would say, at least 3 times an hour, because if you've ever kept turtles for more than like a day, you'll probably know that they poop a ton, like more than probably most of your larger cichlids or catfish would. So you definitely want to get a very good pump. So pretty much what this one does is it draws it up and pushes it through the hose. This hose is buried, but it pretty much runs all the way down through here to this to the filtration system. And then the water pump sends it through the hose up into this mini pond. It's pretty much a canister or a sump filter for this. But what happens is all these lava rocks that we're using, there's bacteria living on them that pretty much complete the nitrogen cycle. We're probably going to add in like some filter floss and some mechanical things too, as well as some more plants. But anyway, this holds around 8 gallons of water, so that's pretty much like an 8-gallon sump for all this. And there's a pretty good amount of water volume in that pond. And after all the water with the turtle poop and the ammonia and everything gets sent through the lava rocks to be cleaned, it just exits right off the waterfall end of the filtration, and just goes back into the main pond where Bubbles poops in it, and we do this whole thing again. If you don't want to use a mini pond, maybe because like your turtle pond is on your deck, there's a couple other things you can do as well. For instance, you can use like a flower pot and do the exact same thing, just maybe drill a hole in the side so so the water just goes through back into the pond, or maybe you can use like a storage tote from Lowe's, like a 20-gallon one of those, and just do the exact same thing, drill a hole in the side. But if it's on a deck, you might want to build a stand for that so it's above the pond. I would also recommend just putting some plants up in the top. There's some pennywort and also some wild strawberries that I found, so I just threw them in there, but I'm hoping to later get some reed plants or something like that, because Bubbles loves to eat plants, and she will shred apart any green thing that she finds. We've tried pretty much everything before, and nothing really works for her. That may vary, but depending on the personality of your turtle, but you can probably grow some, because there's a lot of nitrogen and things in turtle poop that'll really help your plants to grow. It also makes a little bit less maintenance for you as well. And now the last thing you want to do for your pond is the netting. So it's really hard to see, but there's these poles right here, and they have a net that extends over it. This is called bird net, and if you maybe have like blueberry bushes or something similar to that, then you might have some of this just to keep birds from eating all the berries before you do. So pretty much what this does is we have a river back there, and there's some things that live over there like otters or like storks and things like that we really don't want to eat Bubbles. So we just have this netted over, and it'll also protect her from raccoons and things that might want to have her for breakfast. This net is kind of optional, but I don't really like taking unnecessary risks with animals, so I just like to have this over here just in case. It'll also, if she was for some reason able to crawl out of here, which I doubt she can, this would make it a little bit harder for her to escape. You can get all these supplies at Home Depot or Tractor Supply, or a place similar to that. A hardware store should be able to have all of these, and I'm going to have a link, not links in the description, I'm going to have a list in the description just of all the things that you are going to need for this setup. And now for the most fun part of the setup, the decorations. So for Bubbles, we went with a very simple decoration. We pretty much just put some large logs in here for her to bask on. The main purpose of these branches are just so that it'll give her some enrichment to crawl around and through them, but also just to bask on top of, which she really loves to do, since this gets direct sunlight for a lot of the day. You can also make like your own turtle dock or something like that. You just might want to be more careful that your turtle can't crawl out. We also decided to not use any substrate in here for several reasons. One, just because it'll be a bit harder to clean out if for some reason we have to move the pond or something like that. And also, Bubbles just poops a lot, and it's a little bit easier to clean. And I think it looks pretty good like this. You can also use some rocks or something like that, just for your turtle to crawl around in, or maybe make like a cave out of like a flower pot or something like that if they want to hide under it. Now, I cannot stress this final bit enough for a turtle pond. It's very important to make sure you have an outlet and a hose nearby. If your turtle pond is very big like the one we have here, the hose is very important, because you really don't want to be carrying 5-gallon buckets just to fill up and empty out your turtle pond. That's going to take all day and just be exhausting. Like I said earlier, like I believe 1 gallon of water is 7.5 pounds, so you're going to be carrying that back and forward dozens of times to fill up your turtle pond, so definitely make sure you have a hose nearby. Right over here, behind the pond, we have this. So we just attach our hose, and whenever we have to fill it up or do a water change, we just put it right in there. And we also dechlorinate with tap water conditioner too. That's just obvious. And now for electricity, because you have to have something to power the water pump that cleans your turtle pond. You may not have noticed this when I was showing the pond, but there's a wire here that I've been digging out a path for underground. I haven't finished it. I'll get around to it later. But it goes up all the way through here, just a big extension cord, and over here where it goes straight into the socket. The other thing is, I have it unplugged for now just because I didn't want the water noise while I was videoing, but I'll show it at the end of the video. If for some reason you don't have an outlet or something like that near your turtle pond, then you really want to reconsider moving locations or doing something like building an external socket or something like that so you can plug it in. If not, then solar panels, but that's going to be very, very expensive to have like a massive solar panel so you can get 24-hour filtration going, I mean. Alright, so now this is the waterfall in action. Like I said earlier, the water just gets pulled up from the pump and gets filtered through here, then falls back into the main water basin where Bubbles poops in it again, and the same process happens over and over and over. If you enjoyed the video, thanks a lot for watching. And also, if you're planning to do something like this, or maybe already have something like this, please comment below. I always love reading comments and seeing what all you guys love about Bubbles, or what videos you'd like to see me do, or just about your setups in general. And I hope to see everyone on the next one. Goodbye.